Okay, everyone, thanks so much for coming out. We're going to take a little look at some of the claims, not just by Trump, but as we know, Trump loves to say it, that the stock market really just takes off because of Donald Trump. Just his presence makes it go up. But this is a lot more complex, and this is a great opportunity to learn a couple packages. One is Tidyquant. If you've been following me, you know how to do this. That does a lot of quantitative data. Forecast is another one to help us quote unquote forecast. And the other is Dygraphs. Dygraphs will build this graph, which is very, very interesting. So, what do we have to do? Well, take a look at this. I just already made it, but you'll get the picture after we see it. So, I call this S&P. S&P is a really, really good measurement because according to research, it's a little volatile with events such as COVID, elections, etc. So you kind of want to use that. So I just did it and I'll just do the exact same thing. S&P, I called it. I named it, right? Then add watch is you're going to get just one number opposed to all. So let me do it without add and you'll see. I'll just do here. Let me just go up. S&P is the name. It's just going to get symbols. So where does get symbols come from? Get symbols gets all the information. If you see it here, let's take a look. That function is from QuantMod, which is in Tidyquant. So you go get symbols, right? But we're going to call this S&P all, so we'll get all the numbers. This is in quotes. That is the ticker number. I know there's a little arrow here, which isn't always common, but that's the ticker number. Auto and sign is always false. We won't get bogged down in that. Just remember it. All you have to do is do auto assign. It's part of, see right there, auto assign gets symbols. It's part of this. I forget exactly what it does, but it doesn't matter. Now, from, you can do from and to. I'm doing it from 2019-0101 because that's when Trump originally won. And we're going to see throughout, I'm sorry, 2016, this is when Trump lost. So did the stock market measured by um, the S&P 500, did it decrease when Sleepy Joe was elected? The first thing I want you to do is I'm getting all the numbers, not just the adjustments. So, oops, because I didn't do the adjustments. So let's take a look at just the head. There you go. And if you put S and P right there. All right, so you get the adjusted. I'm still getting adjusted. I don't. Oh, S&P all. Okay. So that is just getting the adjusted. I don't know why it didn't change because usually when you get this, symbols, let's take a look. Call it something else, just all, whatever it is. And then till, see, now we're getting, probably because I kept it with that S&P name. Open. I don't know what that means. I just started typing things. Doesn't matter. You can name things anything you want. So you get the open, the highest at the day, right? So it's like 2024 is 1101 is, oh, 1108 is the last one. This is the 11th. Got the open, the high, the low, the close, volume. Probably better just to have the adjusted, right? Because that gives us the average amount. So if you go back up here, and here we have the add, that would just give us the adjusted. So S&P add, get symbols, close it. You've got the ticker number in quotes, comma, auto assign equals false. From 2019, around the time Trump was going to run again, 0101. Then you get it when Sleepy Joe basically won. We're going to see this in the graph. So you hit it, it goes on. Now we're going to do what we call, I already have it there, so I'll just go up. Here it is. Digraph. So, oops, that's the NASDAQ. I'll just put in standard and P because I've been working on this stuff. This standard and P die range selector allows you, which I'm going to show you. So this is it right here. This is the S&P right here for the daily adjusted amount. So you can see what I like about the second function die range selector over here. You can close it to kind of magnify the answer. So you have here, as you can see, the idea that the economy, right, was doing so well, and I understand the COVID's a variable here, but then when you see it, right, after the election, it did drop here in March of 2020, but then it starts gaining storm. So under Sleepy Joe, he actually did have a pretty good stock market, but then, all the fluctuations down, and then it goes down here, goes up, down, 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 down here. So let's take a look at the election. So you've got August, not too bad, slips. These aren't even that big of bottoming out. Like, look at this is 5319. 5620. So because it's so close, it looks bigger. But it did go up a little with Trump. So you've got the election coming up. Here we are in October, October 5th, 4th, 5th, and then he won. So he did get a little boost. It is true. 5995. But not like here, it's 5832. I mean, how big of a boost is it? Now he's going to say this is the biggest, stock market the world has ever seen. Completely untrue. And as you can see, just measuring it by the 500, Sleepy Joe did have a pretty good bounce up when he became president. Look at 2021. Right? But is it, here it is 470, down here is 3. So it is a good bump up from when he won. So if you look at January 6th, oh, how did January 6th do that day? Let's take a look. Not letting me go there. I gotta get up. Go this way. Look at this. What I like about the die range selector. Where are we? November, January. Oh, there it is. I just had it. There it is. So it goes January 6th. I think there's some, check this out. Gets hit bad. We don't know. I don't know the exact conditions of that, but it starts to go down, but then it really starts to go up. So, I mean, is the stock market something that Donald Trump waves his hands at and it all of a sudden goes up? Absolutely not. Seemed to get a good bump, but it also did during Sleepy Joe and other administrations. So you've got to watch out. Trump talks this total hyperbole. And even if it goes up, he'll say, oh, we've never seen a stock market so good. I'm a little incredulous with any Democrat or Republican saying that. Now, I made one the exact same way, which just adjusted for the NASDAQ. That's the more technical stocks that started around, 19, I want to say 71 before I was born. That's right, that's generous. So here's the NASDAQ, you know, Mr. Elon Musk loves it. And or maybe he hates it. I don't know. You see it. It's interesting. So Sleepy Joe becomes president. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Here it is. It's kind of interesting. It hits a dive down here, 22, 36. But look at it. It really goes up in 2021, despite everything that's going on. And, it takes a little nosedive, etc. here. And it's still going up regardless of who's president. So is it because of that Trump wins? Well, let's take a look again. You've got the die range selector. Remember, Dygraphs, this package allows you to create these interactive graphs. So now you sit there and say, okay, let's see, we're in October. It's not doing too bad. It got a big bump up on the 29th, and then it starts going down for whatever reason. Some of you might know. And then and it did do okay. Look, it's from 78. Right, it was at the highest of 78 in on November 8th. But then you come down here, and before the election, it was 74. So it did get a bump up, but not too much, 77, 78. So it's not like, I don't know what I just did there, but it's not like Trump likes to say, right? It's not this, oh my goodness, Everything is great now. And if you look, it did go up under Sleepy Joe. Now I could care less if people like Sleepy Joe or not. But the stocks do what they do. They're volatile. They go down and up for different reasons. If it went down during the COVID, I wouldn't blame that necessarily on Trump. Does it go down when Afghanistan fell? Could these be the variables? You can do interesting regression analysis with these. What variables make these go up and down? But it's very, very interesting. So what did we do? So here we got two sets of stock. One, the NASDAQ. If you see up here, I got it here. NASDAQ, I called it ag, get symbols. This the ticker symbol that is to retrieve the NASDAQ data, NDAQ. Auto assign, false, like I always say. And then I got from quotes 2019-0101. And then it just goes up to the last day that it has access. I believe it's from Yahoo. So, and then we're able to put it in graphs to really see. And then if you can use Shiny and stuff, you can embed it into different websites. So we're doing cool things. And then in addition to this, we can actually start running regression analysis on these with different variables. What causes the stock market, say the NASDAQ, to go up and down? So to recap, we just got out of the internet the stock prices for the Standard and Poor's and the Nasdaq, and that's pretty cool because you can do this with a bunch of stocks, and you can also do this with exchange rates. Let's say you go to Argentina, what's the exchange rate? Okay, you can start thinking about how much you can spend. You can also start running regression analysis. Are there certain variables that help the market go up and down? And then you can start predicting it with what we call the forecast, which we have not. You can also, this is a little more advanced, but I know how to stabilize these in order to do different types of regression. But as you can see, it did get a little bump up when Trump won. Is it something to crow about? He will. But for me, love him, I hate him, it doesn't really matter. I think everyone likes to try to take some kind of merit, oh, it's me, it's because of me. They like to attribute these great things to themselves. I'm a little more incredulous, and when you start looking at the numbers in a more sophisticated way using R Studio, you can come to more complex conclusions. Thanks a lot, everyone, for listening, and take care.